Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare states $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving into the exciting world of state quarters, and we've got something truly fascinating to talk about. The coin in focus is the United States of America Virginia quarter from the year 2000, a coin that's not just another piece of pocket change, but one that holds history, beauty, and in some cases, serious collector value. So, if you love coins or even just the thrill of discovering hidden treasures, stick with me until the end because you'll want to hear how much some of these Virginia quarters have sold for. The Virginia quarter is part of the famous 50-state quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008 and completely changed the way Americans looked at everyday coins. This particular one was released in the year 2000 to honor Virginia's entry into the Union, and it carries a powerful design that captures the state's rich history. On the reverse side, you'll find the famous depiction of the three ships, Susan Constant, Godspeed, and Discovery, the vessels that brought the first English settlers to Jamestown in 1607. It's more than a coin, it's a tiny time machine taking us back to the beginnings of colonial America. Collectors love this coin not only for its design but also for the meaning behind it. Virginia is known as the birthplace of America, and this coin symbolizes the moment when history shifted forever. On the obverse, of course, we see George Washington, the first president of the United States, a familiar figure that anchors all state quarters with tradition and dignity. But what really excites collectors are not just the historical aspects, but the hidden rarities and errors that make certain Virginia quarters worth far more than 25 cents. Now, let's talk about what makes these coins stand out. First, condition is key. Coins that have never been spent and remain in pristine, uncirculated condition are the ones collectors chase. But beyond condition, error coins are the true stars of the Virginia quarter story. Some of the most sought-after errors include off-center strikes, double dies where parts of the design appear doubled, and even planchet errors where the coin wasn't struck correctly. These flaws turn a common quarter into something truly special. Imagine holding a coin where the sails of the ships look doubled, or the words Liberty or In God We Trust appear slightly shadowed. These are the kinds of details that can mean big money. Another thing to note is that the Virginia quarter was minted in large numbers, but not all were made equal. Coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint, marked with a tiny P, and those from the Denver Mint, marked with a D, can have different levels of scarcity when it comes to high-grade examples. And don't forget about the San Francisco Mint, which made special proof versions. Those proofs, especially in silver, shine with mirror-like finishes and are favorites among serious collectors. Now, here comes the part you've been waiting for. While most Virginia quarters you'll find in circulation are worth just face value, some rare examples in top condition or with dramatic mint errors have stunned collectors. At auctions, pristine uncirculated examples have brought in hundreds of dollars, and rare proof versions have climbed even higher. In some extraordinary cases, Virginia quarters with striking mint errors have sold for several thousands of dollars, far beyond what anyone would expect for a simple state quarter. So the next time you're digging through your change, take a closer look at those 2000 Virginia quarters. Who knows, you might be holding a small fortune in your hand without even realizing it. Coins like these remind us that history and value can hide in plain sight, right in your pocket. Top 2. We're diving into one of the more recent but still fascinating coins in the United States quarter series, the Weir Farm quarter from 2020. This is a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but when you dig deeper into its history, its design, and especially its rarities and errors, you quickly realize this is one of those pieces that collectors love to talk about. So sit tight, because if you've got one of these in your pocket change, you might be holding onto something far more valuable than 25 cents. The Weir Farm quarter is part of the America the Beautiful series, which ran from 2010 to 2021, celebrating national parks and historic sites across the country. This particular one honors the Weir Farm National Historic Site in Connecticut, a place famous for being an artistic haven where painters captured the beauty of American landscapes. The coin's reverse shows an artist standing at an easel, painting among the trees, with the words, "A National Park for Art," inscribed. It's not just a coin, it's a celebration of creativity, culture, and the American spirit of expression. On the obverse, of course, we still see George Washington, anchoring the series with tradition. Now, what makes the Weir Farm quarter interesting is that it came out during 2020, a year unlike any other. Because of the disruptions of the pandemic, coin production was unusual, and many collectors noted lower circulation and strange distributions across the country. This means some of these quarters were harder to find than others, and high-grade examples became instantly desirable to collectors building full sets of the America the Beautiful series. But let's get into the real excitement: rarity and errors. The standard coins struck in Philadelphia and Denver were made in the millions, but finding one in perfect, uncirculated condition is much harder than you think. Even more special are the San Francisco issues, particularly the silver proofs that shine with mirror-like beauty. These special mintages have always carried strong collector appeal. But what really makes the Weir Farm quarter potentially valuable are the errors. Imagine finding one with a dramatic off-center strike, or a double die that makes the lettering or details of the artist's easel appear shadowed. Collectors also look for coins struck on the wrong planchet, which are incredibly rare but worth serious money. These mistakes transform an ordinary Weir Farm quarter into a treasure. Another thing to pay attention to is the finish. There are circulation strikes, proof strikes, and uncirculated mint sets. Each carries a different level of scarcity, and if you happen to have one in flawless condition graded by a top service, you might be amazed at what collectors will pay. The America the Beautiful series already has dedicated fans, and since the program ended in 2021, interest has only grown. Now comes the part you've been waiting for. While most Weir Farm quarters in regular circulation are worth only their face value, high-grade uncirculated examples have sold at auction for hundreds of dollars. Silver-proof versions in top condition have reached even higher levels. And when it comes to rare error coins, some have brought in several thousands of dollars, an incredible jump from just 25 cents. That's the magic of coin collecting. Sometimes the smallest details mean the biggest rewards. So the next time you see a 2020 Weir Farm quarter in your change, don't ignore it. Take a close look, check for errors, examine its condition, and you might just discover you've got a hidden gem in your hands. These coins are not only beautiful but also hold the potential to surprise you with real value. Top 3. We're traveling down south to the Lone Star State to talk about one of the most iconic coins from the 50-state quarters program, the 2004 Texas quarter. This isn't just another piece of spare change, it's a symbol of Texas pride, American history, and for collectors, it can be a surprising source of hidden value. So grab a seat, because by the end of this video, you might look at your pocket change a whole lot differently. The Texas quarter was released in 2004, honoring Texas as the 28th state to join the Union way back in 1845. The design is bold and instantly recognizable. On the reverse, you'll see a large five-pointed star, the classic symbol of Texas, laid over a detailed outline of the state itself. Surrounding it is a wreath of branches representing strength and honor, and the word Texas proudly displayed above. It's simple, strong, and unmistakably Texan. On the front, we still have George Washington, the familiar face of the state quarter series. Now, while millions of these coins were produced by both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, not every Texas quarter is equal in the eyes of collectors. For most people, this coin will just be worth 25 cents, but for those who know what to look for, certain examples stand out and can fetch impressive sums. The secret lies in condition, mint mark, and especially errors. Let's talk about rarity first. Uncirculated Texas quarters, those that never saw a cash register or pocket, are far scarcer than worn examples. Collectors hunt for coins in pristine condition, with sharp details on the star and wreath, and no scratches or dulling. High-grade coins certified by grading services can command strong prices. Then there are proof coins, struck at the San Francisco Mint, some in special silver versions. These gleaming proofs were made for collectors and are often much more valuable than regular circulation strikes, but what really fires up the excitement are error coins. Imagine a Texas quarter struck off-center, leaving parts of the design cut off. Or a double die variety, where details on the star or lettering appear doubled. There have also been reports of planchet errors, where the coin was struck on a blank meant for another denomination, making it a one-of-a-kind rarity. Errors like these transform an everyday Texas quarter into a true collector's prize. Another fascinating thing is how certain Texas quarters were struck with slightly weak details, especially around the state outline or wreath. While not always considered full-blown errors, these striking variations make collectors pay closer attention, and unique pieces can still attract a premium. The key takeaway is this: never assume a quarter is just pocket change until you've looked carefully, because you never know when you might spot something extraordinary. So here's the part you've been waiting for. While the majority of Texas quarters are worth just face value, uncirculated examples can sell for tens of dollars, silver proofs can reach into the hundreds, and error coins, depending on type and severity, have sold for several thousands of dollars at auction. That's a huge leap from just 25 cents, and proof that a small piece of metal can carry big rewards. So the next time you come across a Texas quarter, take a good look. Check the mint mark, examine the details, and don't dismiss it too quickly. You might just be holding onto something rare and valuable, a true treasure from the Lone Star State. Top 4, we're taking a closer look at one of the more elegant coins from the 50-state quarters program, the Mississippi quarter released in 2002. At first glance, it might look like just another state quarter you've seen countless times in circulation, but when you learn about its design, its hidden rarities, and the errors that make certain examples extremely valuable, you'll never look at this coin the same way again. So stay with me, because you might just discover that a small piece of change in your pocket could be worth far more than 25 cents. The Mississippi quarter was the 20th coin released in the series, and it beautifully celebrates the magnolia state. The design on the reverse side features 2 blooming magnolia blossoms, the official state flower. The detail is remarkable, with the petals and leaves carefully engraved to capture the beauty of Mississippi's most beloved symbol. Above it proudly reads Mississippi, and below, the phrase Magnolia State. On the obverse, as always, we see George Washington, linking this modern series to America's long tradition of quarter dollars, but this coin isn't just about beauty, it's also about rarity. Millions of these quarters were struck by both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and later by the San Francisco mint for proof versions. While that might sound like a lot, collectors know that condition and specific varieties are what separate common coins from valuable treasures. High-grade examples that never entered circulation are far harder to find than worn ones, and those in pristine condition can attract serious attention. Now let's talk about the part collectors get most excited about: errors. The Mississippi quarter, like others in the series, has been discovered with fascinating mint mistakes. Some examples have dramatic off-center strikes, where parts of the magnolia design are missing or shifted. Others have die cracks, which appear as raised lines across the coin, sometimes running right through the petals or lettering. There are even reported double die varieties, where the details on the blossoms or the words appear doubled under close inspection. Each of these errors is unique, and that uniqueness is what gives them tremendous value. Another aspect to pay attention to is the proof versions. Coins struck at the San Francisco Mint, especially those in silver, shine with mirror-like fields and frosted designs. Collectors love these proofs, and when they remain untouched in perfect condition, they can command a premium. Proof errors, although extremely rare, are the dream finds that can take values to incredible heights. And here's something fascinating: the Mississippi quarter came out during a peak in the popularity of the state quarters program. People all across America were collecting them straight from circulation, which means finding one in your change today is less common than you'd expect. Many were pulled out of circulation early and stored, and only the best preserved pieces have survived to truly impress collectors now. So what are they really worth? Well, while most Mississippi quarters in average condition are still worth just face value, pristine uncirculated examples have been sold for hundreds of dollars. Silver-proof versions in perfect condition have reached into the high hundreds. And when it comes to dramatic mint errors, some Mississippi quarters have brought in several thousands of dollars at auction. That's a massive leap from just 25 cents and a reminder that small coins can carry big surprises. So the next time you come across a 2002 Mississippi quarter, don't just pass it by. Take a moment, study it carefully, and you might realize you're holding a tiny work of art that could also be a valuable collectible. Top 5, and last rare coin. We're stepping back to the very beginning of one of the most popular coin programs in United States history, the 50-state quarter series. The coin we'll be talking about is the New Jersey quarter from 1999. At first glance, it might just seem like a simple 25-cent piece, but for coin collectors, this particular issue is filled with history, symbolism, and in certain cases, incredible value. So stay tuned, because this is one of those coins that deserves your full attention. The New Jersey quarter was the third release in the state quarters program, following Delaware and Pennsylvania. Millions of Americans were captivated by the idea of collecting each new state design, and in 1999 this quarter quickly became one of the favorites. On the reverse, it features George Washington leading his troops across the Delaware River during the Revolutionary War, an iconic moment that symbolizes courage, determination, and the fight for independence. The design was inspired by the famous painting, and it captures the spirit of New Jersey's role in American history. On the obverse, of course, we see the familiar portrait of Washington, keeping the tradition of the quarter alive. Now, while millions of these coins were produced, not every New Jersey quarter is created equal. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for coins that stand out, and the things that make them special are condition, mint mark, and errors. Coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint with the P and those from Denver with the D both exist in huge numbers, but finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is a much bigger challenge. The tiniest scratch, a bit of wear, or a dull surface can take away a lot of the value, which is why collectors prize flawless examples. But let's get into what really excites coin lovers: errors. The New Jersey quarter is known to have some dramatic minting mistakes. Off-center strikes, where the design is shifted, can leave parts of the boats or the river missing. Double die varieties have been reported, where parts of the design, like the oars or lettering, appear doubled. Die cracks, which show up as raised lines across the surface, can cut right through Washington's figure or the boats. Each of these errors makes the coin unique, and when a coin is one of a kind, collectors are willing to pay serious money to own it. Another area of interest is the proof versions, struck at the San Francisco Mint. These were made specifically for collectors and include both clad and silver proofs. The silver proofs in particular are stunning, with mirror-like fields and frosted designs. Because of their beauty and limited mintages, they have always carried higher values, especially in perfect condition. What makes the New Jersey quarter even more exciting is the timing of its release. In 1999, the state quarters program was brand new, and everyone wanted to join the collecting craze. Many of these coins were saved straight out of circulation, but that doesn't mean rare high-grade pieces and error coins aren't valuable. In fact, the demand from collectors has only grown stronger as the years have passed. Now here's the part you've been waiting for. While most New Jersey quarters are still worth just 25 cents in circulation, uncirculated examples have sold for tens of dollars. Silver proofs in perfect condition have reached into the hundreds. And when it comes to rare error coins, some of the most dramatic examples have sold at auction for several thousands of dollars. That's an incredible return for a coin that started out as pocket change. So the next time you come across a 1999 New Jersey quarter, take a closer look. Examine the details, check for errors, and pay attention to the condition. What looks like an ordinary coin could actually be a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this video and love learning about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss our future discoveries. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting.